Oh, there it is. We're going. Hi, everybody. We are live. This is my attorney, George Polis. Hey, and he's going to talk today about estate recovery and explain what it is and hopefully how to avoid it. Maybe.
I'll do my best. I don't know how good it'll be.
And then you can email me and text me any questions. I'll be watching the screen, hopefully. So.
Yes, and you can always reach out to Becky if you have follow-up questions.
Like I know anything.
and she can forward my email address, and if you don't have it. But my name is George Polis, and I am an attorney, local attorney. My office is in Hudson, Ohio, and my areas of practice are probate, estates, guardianships, and I am also on the list of for the estate recovery through the Office of the Ohio Attorney General. An attorney that I work with, she is listed as what we call outside counsel, and she has me with her office. What happens is when estate recovery is when people are on Medicaid, for lack of a better term, I call it the bar tab you would never ever want. And depending upon how old the audience is, I don't think if there's any young people on, which there probably isn't, hopefully you're old enough to remember the good old days of bar tabs, where the bartender lets you run up the tab and you pay later.
Hopefully at the end of the night.
And so I always refer to this as the bar tab that you never want to pay. The state of Ohio always keeps track of all of the services on Medicaid that they give you. And it only ever comes up if you have assets when you pass away. And that is where the state of Ohio would submit a claim against those assets, and they call that estate recovery. And what the state of Ohio does is it's a division of the Ohio Attorney General's office, and they farm out throughout the state of Ohio to separate outside counsel. And they're just private attorneys that have law practices, and they're contracted with the state of Ohio and in charge of collecting money back. And the most common estate recovery would be what happens is somebody were to pass away, a loved one passes away who's on Medicaid. The state finds out about the reported passing, and
How do they find out?
Either through Social Security, the funeral home reports to Social Security, or a pension, Ohio pension reports, and they have their sources to get that public information.
So the only way to avoid that is bury the body in the backyard?
Never say it. and we've had that case.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, you're welcome. Come on in.
Come on in. Here, you can sit up here. Hey, Audrey. I'm wonderful. She's from Cleveland, by the way, just to see you.
I'm George. I'm sorry. I hope. I'm doing
Facebook Live.
It's free to be here, so hopefully I'm worth being free.
Thank you for coming.
So we're just talking about estate recovery, and that's where if someone's on Medicaid and they pass away with assets in their name and having assets, then the state of Ohio always keeps track of what they've paid out in benefits. And that can be, those kinds of things can be long-term care in a nursing home, Medicaid assisted living,
Waivers?
In-home care.
Because HCBS.
Premiums.
Home care services.
Yeah, premiums. And they're always keeping track.
Okay, now the assets need to be in that person's name.
Correct.
Right.
So.
Or the spouses? Or no?
Yes.
Okay.
and we'll get into some of that. We'll get into that. So it's what property is subject to Ohio estate recovery, and that would be real property, in the deceased person's name, life estates. A life estate is where somebody on their deed has the right to reside in a property. So let's say, Becky, I'll just say, you own your home, and you say, George, you can live here for your life, but when you die, it's mine, and then I can do what I want with it. But while you're alive, you get to live here.
I know some people have houses in Kent State that Kent State has bought it from them with that.
Yeah, and that's called a life estate. It's actually
I got confused a little bit there.
A life estate is where on the home deed, normally a home deed is where, someone owns it by themselves. But a life estate is where someone owns it subject to somebody else living there for their life.
Okay, Kent State wants to buy all the property around it, okay? So I know a lady that has a house. Kent State wants that house. And she said, not until I die. So that's pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah.
So when she dies, Kent State now will take that and tear it down, build another dorm or something.
Is it kind of like for people that are like cohabitating that aren't married? So is that how that kind of
It can be any time. Yeah. No, the question was, is a life estate for someone who's cohabitating? It can be for anyone who wants somebody to own the home, but they want to transfer their house to someone else, but still have a legal right to reside there until they die.
My house is kind of like that. My daughter is my trustee. She owns my house. We did that as a Medicaid, an irrevocable trust.
Yeah.
So and I can live in my house till I die.
But you need permission to do anything with that house?
Do you need it in writing? Do you need it in a trust?
It's actually
yourself?
A life estate is actually written on the deed, and it's
So the homeowner still can do whatever they want.
no, it's subject to the person being able to live there for their life.
So I got an example, like my mom, my father passed away. My main sister took over the house.
That's okay.
Took over the house, took everything off her. I think she swiped everything, and now she got her in a nursing home. But there's the house, and I'm thinking, what's going on with the house? Well, I just find out she's renting the house, and she said it's not ours, the kids, until she passes away. But I have a feeling that she put in a nursing home because she knows then the nursing home will take over the house and we get nothing.
Is your mom on Medicaid?
Well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So there you have a couple of issues there.
A lot.
Yeah, you have a lot there, but the what we're talking about today is after somebody passes away. And so, yes, you have
so when she passes away, now that's what I want.
Well, we're going to get to that, but what happens is with real estate, with property that's in someone's name. That's okay. Becky had a call.
I know. I don't know how to stop it and turn